Hey everybody, this is Doug, Addie, and Jeremy from MCUExchange.com, and we just got back from a fan screening of Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
We all loved it.
Yes.
If you follow us on Twitter, you know that we actually periscoped our thoughts on the movie right after we came out from it, our very first reactions to it. But obviously those were our reactions literally minutes after coming out of the bathroom that we went to after seeing the movie.
Yes. It was very much needed.
Yes. Because you are not going to want to get up out of your seat during the movie.
Not at all.
But so anyway, we've had some time to think about it. We've had some time to kind of process the movie. So we wanted to give our more in-depth review about Civil War.
Yeah.
Now, this is a non-spoiler review, so if you have not seen the movie and just want to know our thoughts, don't worry, we're not going to spoil anything in this movie. If you're looking for a spoiler review, we will have one of those as well, but we're not going to post it until
It's released in America.
until the movie comes out in the US, which is May 6th. So we'll either post it May 5th or May 6th, depending on when we post it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Jeremy, why don't you start? Talk about your favorite parts of the movie.
Okay. Favorite parts. The new character intros. The way they do Spider-Man, the way they do Black Panther, and in with that, favorite parts, the fight choreo. The fight choreo in this movie is impeccable. All the characters fight like they're characters. They fight like they've been training since whenever they started being who they are. So Falcon in this has a couple moments where it's like clearly he's been at the Avengers camp and he's training and doing all these new things, and so is Scarlet Witch, so is all of these characters. Yeah. Black Panther's fighting is exactly what it should be.
Black Panther in general.
Black Panther in general.
Regal.
Yeah. Just what a presence. What a hero. Like
stoic hero.
Like what a hero. But also like the way he fights like a cat, which is amazing.
And moves like a cat.
And
him
moves.
going upstairs.
Yeah.
I mean, we won't spoil anything, but
just
stairs.
like it's great. It's great. So that's my favorite part.
Addie?
My favorite part is Spider-Man. I am one of the biggest Spider-Man fans, and to finally see Spider-Man just done right is amazing. Tom Holland, fantastic Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Tom Holland, fantastic Spider-Man. Yeah. He just really knocks it out of the ballpark. I really just cannot wait for the Spider-Man standalone movie or Spider-Man Homecoming. Right. It's
yes,
now
we just
confirmed.
found out that title.
But yeah, and then also going off your little thing about the fighting, my favorite fighting was Black Widow. Russo brothers just really get Black Widow right. She was phenomenal in this movie. Spider-Man and emotions.
Doug?
Emotions really caught up with me.
I will temper what you said a little bit about Spider-Man. You should be excited about Spider-Man. Yeah. But keep in mind, he's a small part of this movie. This is not Spider-Man's movie. So if you're wanting to see, half of a movie with Spider-Man jumping around and teaming up with Captain America and fighting bad guys and all that stuff, that's not this movie. Spider-Man's in like 2 scenes. They're amazing scenes, but we have not seen enough of Spider-Man yet for me personally to say he's the best we've ever had. What we've seen of him is fantastic. And the suit, I really like.
The suit's great.
And the way he fights.
Yeah, the way he fights is great too. But what's your favorite? What's your favorite?
As much as I love Spider-Man, because there wasn't that much of him, he's not my favorite part.
Whatever.
My favorite part was the balance of tone in this movie.
Yeah.
I think we all liked Age of Ultron to varying degrees. We all gave it positive reviews. Yeah. But one of the biggest complaints that I think we can all agree with is that it didn't balance tone very, very well. It felt like there were no stakes for the Avengers. There was never any real danger. Even Ultron, this villain trying to end the world, is tossing out jokes. And, sometimes the jokes worked, but sometimes they felt kind of inappropriate. Whereas in Civil War, it is a darker movie because obviously there's a lot of really heavy emotional stuff going on. but there's still tons of really great humor, most notably from Ant-Man and Spider-Man.
Yeah,
my God.
Ant-Man.
Steals
Paul
every
Rudd.
scene.
They can't put him in movies like this because I just want to see more of him.
Yeah.
I think it might be like an actual issue. He's so good.
Yeah, he's great. But as funny as that is, it never takes away from the emotional or serious moments.
Yeah.
So I guess we can move on now to our least favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah. What didn't we like about this?
So, do you want to start?
Sure, I'll start. So, and again, guys, we all really like this movie. We'll get to our scores in a minute, but yeah, my biggest nitpick with it is that Baron Zemo, if you read reviews, you're going to see a lot of reviews calling him another wasted Marvel villain. I don't agree with that, because I think that this movie wasn't about Baron Zemo. This movie was about Civil War, the Avengers fighting each other. So I don't think it's fair to say that Zemo was a wasted villain. Yeah. However, what we got of him, while the character was good, Daniel Bruhl was really good, certain aspects of his plan don't quite make... They make sense. You understand them, but they don't... I don't
They're
quite
not high
buy
enough.
it.
Yeah, the stakes are
I
not
don't
high enough
quite
for him.
believe his motivation, and it's hard to talk about specifically what I didn't like without getting into spoiler territory.
We'll do this much more in the spoiler.
So we'll talk about that more, but I think that there are legitimate problems with the way they handled Zemo. However, what gives me hope is that I think
It sets up.
Yeah, I think Zemo's actions, and whether or not we've seen the last of Zemo, I think the things that he does in this movie will have really big implications for Phase 3.
Least favorite part?
The score... I know we've talked about this a lot before. Marvel has a little bit of an issue trying to find, like, very good scores that really stand out. Very good themes, like, for specific heroes.
Yeah.
And this movie, the first 15 minutes kind of lagged for me because the music just didn't seem that intense. It was very quiet and, like, unmotivated, and I really love movie scores. That it took me a while to get into the film, and then once they started fighting, I was like, all in, but it just kind of took away right away from the movie, and it kind of bothered me. But that's really the biggest thing for me. It was the music.
Right, yeah.
So that's not that bad,
but
too.
music is a big part,
Yeah, no,
and especially of a superhero film in this genre. We're used to these sweeping, epic John Williams, Howard Shore, Danny Elfman scores.
And I didn't even really recognize the composer. And I know
Henry
Jackman, yeah.
And I listen to a lot of movie scores. I don't listen to music today.
No, they're a big part.
So.
Yeah, I think that's a criticism that you can make about most superhero movies today. In the past 10 years, I mean, the only great superhero themes that I can think of was, I mean, some of the score from the Dark Knight trilogy is pretty great. Yeah. And then Alan Silvestri's theme for The Avengers is awesome.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, the individual heroes, they have music. Captain America has one of the first Avenger that I enjoy.
Right.
But
the
it's
thing
not
is
iconic.
In 10 years, I'm not going to be whistling it like I'm whistling Harry Potter or like I'm whistling Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You know, these still epic adventure films. And to more or less degree, Marvels aren't as much of an adventure as those and Star Wars and stuff like that. But at the same time, they have these themes that are in history forever. And I wish Marvel would... Like, my next step for them is let's go find these themes. And I thought with Guardians, with them doing Awesome Mix, I felt like they really got...
Score.
Right, that's not a score,
it's
that's
the
soundtrack, which they did great.
Which they got really close to. And there's a song in this movie that I love, and I recognized it, and I, like, immediately got really happy. But, like, that's not the same point.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think this movie really dropped the ball the most out of all movie scores that they've done with Marvel, which is kind of upsetting because it is my favorite Marvel movie.
And the other thing with this, you have such an opportunity to do an Iron Man theme versus a Cap theme, and then mesh them and use
or even introduce like a Spidey theme,
and, which actually I think they might have, but we'll have to see it again.
The fact that we're not sure though goes to Addie's point.
Yeah.
So what didn't you like, Jeremy?
What's your one thing?
my least favorite part is after the first fight scene, there's a lot of setup for the rest of the movie. And for me, that dragged a little, and it got a little of, okay, I'm watching them set up the rest of the movie. Because I know there's this big airport fight scene coming because I've seen the trailer, so I'm watching them set it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm watching them right through, and they do a really, really good job with it.
Yeah,
really
I was going to
do.
say, I never felt like it was too much setup,
Yeah.
but I agree, it's a
I
lot.
don't think it's too much. I think it's a lot, and I really hope that we never see this many characters in a movie again, because which Infinity Wars will have 67 at least, whatever. But the point being is having this many characters that I care about, and I love seeing all of these bits. But then again, after that much time, I'm like, okay, wait a second. I came here to frankly, to see Captain America and Tony Stark kind of go at it. Like, where can we...
I see what you're saying,
right.
But I would not go so far as to say that I hope we don't see a movie with this many characters again.
Yes.
Because, I mean, watch the Avengers for a great example of this. Remember when we thought that having 4 Avengers is going to be too many to handle? Watch the Avengers for this. I think the first half hour of that is a pretty good analog to what we're talking about here, up until they get onto the helicarrier, where... we know that more is coming later, but we have to get there first. But I don't think the first half hour to 45 minutes of the Avengers is boring or bad.
No, I don't either.
It's setup,
I don't
but
either.
It's good setup.
Yeah,
I enjoy the setup.
And it's like emotional setup. Like you were like still very much still invested in this setup.
There was just... for me, I think there was the tiniest bit too much. Maybe like 2 minutes of too much setup.
I'll disagree, but I see where you're coming from.
So let's give this our final score.
Oof.
And again, we're going to score these out of 10, guys, but 1 to 10 is not like the grading system in school where 0 is fail, or 60 is fail, and 99 is an A, 8 is a B. This is anything above a 5 is good. 5 is average.
Yeah.
5 means it was fine. 6 means we'd recommend you go see it. 10 means there's literally nothing it could do better.
Right.
So, with that said, Jeremy.
I'm going first. Oh boy. I'll give this a 9 right now. Take it this is 2 hours, hour and a half after we've seen it. I'm going to see it again and really give it a much more critical look. But right now, and I think it's not going to move too much, it's a very solid 9. I love this movie.
Yeah.
I tweeted right as I was walking to the bathroom and I said, first thought, perfect.
Yeah.
And it's really close.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I'm gonna do a 9.5. It's definitely my favorite Marvel movie, and like the things that the music was like the biggest issue, and it was only for like 15 minutes, if that. It's just close to perfect for me. It might change, but I don't know. My heart's pretty set.
Fair enough. I'll go with Jeremy. I'll say I'm about at a 9 as well. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be my favorite Marvel movie. Certainly in the top 2 or 3.
Certainly in the top 2 or 3.
And yeah, like you, Jeremy, I think that once I watch it again, I might notice a few more minor things. But if my score changes, it's not going to go below an 8.5.
Yeah, no,
it's not going to be like 2 points.
And the other thing to that point is I am going to go see it again. With Age of Ultron, I didn't walk out of the theater being like, I need to go see it again. I was like, okay, saw it. But everybody who we were talking to and listened to walking out of this theater was like, let's go again.
Yeah,
now.
absolutely.
That's right.
And then just one last quick little thing. The setup for Phase 3 they did in this movie is unbelievable. It blows everything I thought was going to happen with every single one of these characters out of the water. We had a discussion on the subway of what's going to happen to this one character, because we thought we knew what was happening, but now
all the movies are kind of up in the air.
It's all up in the air, and it's really exciting. And we'll go into a lot more detail when we do our spoilers
in like
inclusive episode, so you'll get to see our thoughts on that too.
So get excited, guys. It's a great movie. Hop down in the comments, let us know what you thought if you had a chance to see the movie, because I know that they did these fan screenings in a bunch of different cities. But also just let us know what you want us to talk about when we talk about our spoiler review. If you have any questions that you want answered, or things that you want us to talk about. So I'm Doug Herring, guys. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook at MCUExchange. Do we have an Instagram? I think we do.
Do we?
Don't follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at the MCU Exchange, and go to MCUExchange.com for all of your MCU news and reviews.
Well, you can follow me on Instagram, and you can follow me on Twitter at AddieBree.
Likewise, it's Jeremy _Stewart.
And,
yeah, we'll see you soon, guys.
Bye, guys!